Yes, sir. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, y'all, to a hot another episode of Tables, Ladders, and Pod, man. We got previous guests in the building today, man. I don't even call them friends. They're more like family to me now, man. So if you guys will welcome Wade Simmons, welcome
What's good,
Levi
everybody?
back into
What's
the
up,
cut, man.
everybody?
Again. We're gonna talk a couple different things, couple important topics today on the sport of wrestling as well. So hey man, what do y'all want to deep dive into first, man? What do y'all want to do?
Oh man, just well, first I want to talk a little bit about John Cena
Oh
because
man.
I appreciate my brother for coming back and actually giving the fans pretty much a whole year of his retirement.
Yeah.
I think that's
Yeah.
an excellent way to do it because like he has stepped away from the scene for a while and to kind of see him back is kind of like nostalgia because I know like nowadays a lot of people be like, well, wrestling not this and it's not that, but the truth be told, we can't go back. We can only go forward. So
That's
we
right.
appreciate the past and don't get me wrong, I
Make way
love
for the
WWE
future.
as a child, you know.
Yep.
And John Cena was my boy. Of
Yeah,
course, I
man.
was more of a Carlito fan. You know what I'm saying? But John Cena also, man, I give him his props and his flowers. But I actually appreciate him for coming back. Doing it the way he's doing it because he actually coming back, actually putting in the work.
Yep.
Before he hang it up. Only thing is like I really would like to see John Cena maybe fight somebody that he hasn't wrestled yet. Maybe somebody from the Indies promotion,
Well,
from
I
the
got a question.
indie,
I got a question for you, man. Wait,
Sure.
because it's some. I want to ask you. Do you think it's Edge possibly? Because there's rumors floating up there, and I've seen a few videos that is alluding to Edge possibly could be John Cena's last match, man. Like, what do you think about that?
I think that'd be awesome. But I still like I do think that John Cena should retire against somebody like Edge. That'd be dope. But I also
Yeah.
think before that happens, I think it would be nice to see him maybe fight somebody from another promotion or
Yeah,
somebody that's off the indie scene that they bring. Because
like
really,
passing the torch, right?
yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
because honestly, like a guy like John Cena, you will want to use him to put the next guy over.
no
Of
fact.
course, like as when his retirement match against the legend Edge, that will be awesome. I mean, I think whoever they put John Cena against is going to be great. But
Yeah.
I think to see somebody like him maybe face off against some of the other, like the next generation of wrestlers, like I think that would
Yeah,
be kind of like in the middle before we
Yeah.
get to the point. That'd be kind of nice.
That would be very nice. A new up and comer, you know. And yeah, John Cena, uh, it's kind of like his his farewell tour is kind of like how can I put it in the vein of Kobe Bryant's
yeah,
2016 last ride tour,
I
yeah,
love it.
or LeBron James entering his last ride tour. So I think that John Cena, because if I stand to be corrected, in December, sometime in December is his very last match. They need to put him up against somebody, like Wade said, um, a young up and comer who's highly talented and pass the torch along. Or if they want to do it with the Edge scenario or something like that, that's fine as well. But mostly an up and comer because there is a lot. I mean, a lot of young talent out here that's hungry, and these guys are good.
Yeah,
Let the light shine on them. And you never know. Um, we could be having the next Hulk Hogan out here, next Stone Cold, the
yeah.
next John Cena, the next Dwayne Rock Johnson. No comparison, but there is somebody out here that low key could be the next big thing. So
Absolutely.
say
I'm rocking with what Levi just said because
yeah,
we definitely and then like I said, I think that right now WWE has a great roster.
no,
But
they do.
I mean now how they're utilizing the roster to some people may be a little questionable. And I can
I
understand.
wanna I want to get back into that later, man,
Yeah.
because TKO, I don't know if they're the best thing around right now. Look, hey, on this podcast, we don't bash people, but I don't know if TKO is doing the best job to their ability. I'm not sure on that, but
yeah,
um, to the Indies note, that can be very very doable by WWE. I mean,
Oh yeah.
they
Oh
have
yeah.
a new program, WWEID, which does that specific thing on shining light on young indie superstars and shining light on the indie scene. Period.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that it would be great if they was to actually utilize that to the best of their ability, find one of the biggest stars out in the indies, and like y'all said, just have John Cena, man, put on one of his best
Yeah.
matches and
Yeah.
pass him that torch.
Exactly.
Because like when you think about it, like they've done a pretty good job with NXT.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate NXT, but I feel like when you think about it, right, like a lot of times, like WWE, it has a lot of talented people there. But I just feel like right now, like, you don't have to always just keep using the same
Same,
people.
yeah.
You need to kind of mix it up a little bit. Cause like back
That
then,
right there. That right
I
there.
remember when we were younger, like, yeah, they used Triple H and Chris Jericho and all them guys, but every now and then we would get a fresh new face that we didn't really,
Right.
behind the scenes, and maybe if you went to some of like the indie shows or
Yeah.
some of the dark shows, you might have seen these people before. But I think like WWE kind of missing the element of surprise.
They are.
And I think that I stand to be corrected here. That people, in some ways, are kind of tired of seeing the same old thing. They want to see something new and fresh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why, Wade was talking about, maybe having Cena go up against somebody in the indies or whoever who's up and coming, compared to somebody that we already seen and known. And because I'm going to tell you, I work in the indie scene. I see a lot of great talent. I mean, a lot. And, sometimes, when you're, how can I put it, maybe held back or whatever, or if you're just, sitting in the totem pole, you have to be, you have to be let out the cage, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because, once you're let out, then everybody can like see like, oh man, this was here all this time. Where is he and she been at all this time? How come they're not in, here on TV or whatever the case is? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but it that would make a lot of sense though.
Yeah, I miss seeing guys like Ryback,
Yep.
Guys like that, like, man, because I feel like, WWE over the years, they've had a lot of great people.
Yeah.
And I think that, like, in the times we live in, it's
Right.
like now, it's like I feel like the element of surprise is just missing,
It is.
And to your point,
NXT,
Right.
and then, and NXT is great, but I feel like I kind of miss that where sometimes you never, like I said, if you didn't go to the dark shows or you wasn't following the indie, you don't know where this person came from.
Right.
You know
nothing.
that they just didn't wake up and just say they just gonna get a guy off the street, but
Right.
that was like the element, and I just feel like it's missing that.
It's
just
nothing like turning on like Monday night, right? Just from a fan perspective. Put yourself back in like the 90s. I'm talking about late 90s, 98, 99, right? And you're flipping back from WCW to Monday Night Raw. Man, you might catch somebody you might catch Shawn Michaels versus the Ken Shamrock, or you might catch Steve Blackman versus, I don't know,
Like
Crash Holly.
Right.
It's random matches that really made the business fun.
Yep.
And I think that's what Wade is trying to say. Like the element of surprise was so outstanding back in the day. Like,
and that needs to come back.
And you never knew what you would see.
I mean, I even like Zach Galvin when he went against Brock Lesnar. Like,
yeah,
that was
him too.
Cool. Like, I miss and don't get me wrong, I know you can't go back, but it's just that I think that WWE would be nice if they would incorporate a little more of that.
No, for sure.
Like I said, I commend them for what they're doing. I'm just saying that personally, I just don't see the element of surprise like it used to.
And they need to go back to that. They need to bring that back.
Like I would just say, like, just from the fan perspective too, like I like the the authenticity that they're doing, like with the promos now. Like I think scripted promos. Then this is just in my opinion. I personally think that it's hurting wrestling. I think you want more of the off territory, off terrain type of scripts, man, to where it can go anywhere because it brings out the real emotions in these guys. Right. It brings out the real chemistry,
the naturalism.
I like that. I like that as a fan.
Because back in the day when they did promos, man, it just came, it flowed.
Yeah, yep. And you can tell too.
Right then and there, it flowed. There was nothing scripted. Yeah. Jesse Ventura said it. You know, back then in the 80s and 90s, hell, even the 70s, they just came out there with the flow of it. You know,
man, do y'all remember when Stone Cold set a trap for DX that night?
Yeah, I do. I remember that.
Somebody got
98, 99.
Somebody got caught in the bear trap.
Yeah.
Somebody fell on them. Somebody got stuck to the wall. Then the DS got that's when it was fun. And like I said, for some reason, I just feel like it's no disrespect because I love everybody on the roster. And I understand that it's not the wrestler's fault.
Right.
Because they are being paid and they are instructed on what they're supposed to do. But it's just I feel like it's just and like I said, I love it. Don't get me wrong. And I know that they have a talented roster, but it's just the storylines to me just are not the greatest.
I think that didn't mean to interrupt you there. Wait, what I'm saying is that I think that that needs to be brought back. You know, the element of surprise and everything, as well as characters. You know, back then you had a lot of characters. You know, the characters, storylines, original creativity, stuff like that. I mean, there was times when you had, Undertaker coming out, putting Teddy Long and them, Shawn Michaels and them in the casket, stuff like that. We need, that type of originality and stuff to make a comeback.
And remember the general managers, man, were like don't get me like Adam Pearce. Right. I kind of like him as the general manager. I think personally though, it's like, WWE used to have a lot of storylines with the general managers, and like Eric Bischoff, man, he was he was vindictive and Paul Heyman and but it's like now it's just, and like I said, if they maybe start using Adam Pearce, like all the general managers don't have to be corrupt because Teddy Long was the good guy.
Right.
No, he did a phenomenal job.
What about how the WrestleManias are now, right? That, and I'm saying this from the fan perspective. I appreciate everything the WWE is doing. I appreciate how they're trying to stretch their fan base worldwide. I definitely appreciate that because that's what you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be expanded. But on the other note, it is kind of tough for fans that may have not ever seen a WrestleMania, that may not be able to even get in that vicinity of a WrestleMania. You got WrestleMania taking place over in Saudi Arabia, I think next year after this. And I think that's like unheard of for, a WrestleMania, something that's so massive, right? Something that's so immaculate of an event to take place over there. But it's scary. And I do want to commend TKO for trying something new because they are still new. We have to give them credit on that. All right. They're going to work through the kinks. They're going to see what the crowd likes. They're going to see their ups and downs through the first year or so.
Yeah, but
it's just all about getting used to it, man.
But my thing is just utilize everybody without making it feel stale, because that's what I'm saying. Like back then, like remember we had guys like Funaki, Jerry. We had the Hurricane. Like you never know. Sometimes you never know what matches you were getting, and they told good stories in the ring. And like I said, it's not on the wrestlers, but as an organization, I think
that's the thing.
They need to go back to because now
storytelling. They don't tell stories no more.
It can't be just three guys carrying a business. It can't just be Cody, Roman, and Seth. I'm gonna be honest. Like it can't just be those guys constantly. And to your point, Wade, like I would love to see a Carmelo Hayes get a bigger push.
Oh yeah.
Me personally, I love Carmelo Hayes.
Oh yeah.
I love Carmelo Hayes, man.
Right there. He's the real deal.
And And you know what else?
Trick Williams.
Yeah.
Trick
Yeah.
Williams.
And look, at real talk, I feel like back then, right? WWE, they didn't just push the pay-per-views. They pushed Monday Night Raw. They pushed SmackDown to where like you didn't really know what you were gonna get. It was just that good that it held your attention. But now it's like everything is just a match, and then we just gonna focus on the pay-per-view.
But you know what, Wade?
That's kind of how I feel.
But to your point, man, you know what else is different and what made such a big difference back in the day that we maybe took for granted during that time? Shows like Saturday Night Velocity.
Oh yeah, and
shows like Sunday Night Heat.
Sunday Night Heat.
Right. Sunday Night Heat.
Like
Velocity.
those were so like pivotal in that time because you know, of course, nobody didn't NXT wasn't even thought of, you know.
Right.
But you had guys come on before these big pay-per-views. You actually got a chance to sit behind your TV and watch what they're seeing in the arenas.
Yeah, and it's like and it's like that's my whole thing. Is like, you know, I think again WWE has a lot of talent, a lot of great talent, but
a lot.
I just want to see them utilize the storylines a little more and put more into the Monday Night Raw and put more into the because like I said, that's not on the wrestlers' part.
It's not.
That's an organization.
Right.
And like you said, that's not to say because like I said, it's not hard. You can't please everybody. I do understand that, but to be honest with you, I'm just saying that for me, I feel like it's just missing the element of surprise, and
it is.
I just feel like the pay-per-views you need to push the pay-per-views, but you also gotta understand that Monday night and SmackDown is just as important, you know.
Well, you know what? I gotta say this, man. Hey, look, listen, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it, man. Look, it's not all about the kids all the time. You still got the old fans, right? That needs that attention, you know.
Exactly.
Like for instance, Brock Lesnar, he's one of my favorite wrestlers, but I want to see Brock go up against some new people.
Yeah,
you know? I want to see Brock destroy some new people. Like it's like it don't always have to be the same people from over there.
If they would have kept Gable Stevenson, if they would have kept him,
oh man,
and built that brother up, and you know they were comparing him as the next Brock Lesnar type, had him go up against Brock Lesnar.
Honestly, I think they should have let him wrestle a few more matches, then built him up. I think a lot of times they kind of built him up before and sometimes you have to be careful with that, you know. You have to be a little careful with that because you have
you have to build them up first.
But listen to what I'm saying. I think that the way they played that, right, they just build them up and just like, you know, things like I feel like sometimes before you put certain things out there, right? That's just like me when I talk about my pro wrestling career, I always emphasize that I only trained. You know what I'm saying? Right. I only trained. So, and I did wrestle in high school as an amateur, but as far as, you know, wrestling shows, Levi knows as well I know what they had me doing, working security, right? So, you know, so I'm not going to go out there and just build my no, you want to showcase your skills first. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it makes a lot of sense. That's how it's supposed to be.
And that's not, and I'm not putting that on him. I'm just saying that I think that they should have maybe worked with him a little more, let him showcase himself in the ring, and then kind of push it like that, you know.
Yeah, because
to me, you do have to promote, but sometimes people don't care what you say. They want to see what can be done. You know, they want to see it.
Yep. I see the results.
I want to. I am going to take a quick commercial break first, and when we come back, I want to talk about it's a wrestler. It's two wrestlers actually. One of them we just talked about, but I want to kind of compare both of the, I guess, situations they were in, and I want to get you guys' opinion on whether, you know, he should be allowed back in the WWE.
I think,
you know what I mean.
But I do hope they bring back my boy Gable though. You know, I think. Yeah, I think give him because, like I said, to be honest with you, his career gonna work out either way. But I'm just saying that I wish they just would have, you know.
Because right now he's excelling in MMA.
Oh, he gonna excel whatever he do. But we're gonna take a commercial break. We'll be back.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Would you let your family watch a movie about yourself with them in the room at the same time? Y'all just watching your life as a movie together.
Yeah. What kind of a question is that? It's $100 million.
Man, what about all the bad stuff you done?
I don't care.
You savage. I told y'all he was savage. Y'all didn't believe me. Look at him. Look at him. $100 million.
Bro,
y'all see this?
That's $100 million. Bro, I'm with it. Let's go. I can quit today.
Nigga, this is your life, though.
I don't care.
Your life.
They know about 75% of it anyway, so
Hey, bro, even the parts where you know
getting it in, bro. Hey, them the one I'm gonna turn the volume up on,
bro. All right.
Hey, be like Rico and paid in full.
I told y'all.
Hey, I'm gonna be like Rico and paid in full.
I told y'all. I told y'all you savage.
See, you see that cat right there? That cat getting money, bro.
All right, I guess that leads us to his next question. Yo, welcome back. For that commercial break, man, I definitely want y'all to tune in this evening. Me and Nettie gonna be on Unscripted Vibes, man. Y'all know how we cut up. We cut up all different type of ways, man. You know, we talking about all different type of stuff, man. So hopefully y'all tune in to that, man, and tune in to your boys, man, Friday evenings, man. But we back here on Tables, Ladders, and Pod, man. Wade Simmons and Levi, man. We've been having a real good talk about just the business in general, man. You know, but the question I wanted to start off by asking you fellas is that, you know, Brock Lesnar was brought back, right? Obviously, we ain't got to get into the specifics. We know. But Velveteen Dream as well, he was kind of, you know, exiled out due to certain things as well, too. Do you think they handled it fairly by, you know, having him sit out still while they did bring back somebody like a Brock, or do you think it was justified?
I'm gonna just put it like this, and I'm gonna give my honest opinion. Personally, I believe everybody deserves a second chance. I think that we have to understand that people. I don't know all the details about the situation, but you know, everybody got a skeleton in their closet. If they don't, they got a bone somewhere. Right?
You're right.
But truth be told, it's like we, you know. I understand, man, but I think in all fairness, you know, you just give people a second chance. Like, and I'm gonna just share this from experience. And Levi knows I'm not gonna put no names out there, but we had a brother in the business. I ain't gonna go into details about it, but he made a mistake, and I felt like, you know, he got blackballed, but I don't think that was necessarily fair. I think that people make mistakes, and I think if you're gonna let one person back, just be fair to everybody, you know. I think I'm all about look. I put it like this because everything ain't black and white, but at least be fair, you know.
Yeah,
be fair.
Yeah, totally beyond 100% with you on that. You know, everything that you just said. So,
man, you know, and I really feel because he, you know, he's on social media. He's begging for forgiveness. You know, like he says he's changed. I feel like you can get this guy a second chance, man. If he does wrong again, then absolutely cut ties with him. Yeah, at that point. I mean, because when he was in the business, we seen what he did in the business, business wise, and where he was ranked and where he was. You know, I mean, the guy's amazing. I mean, his character alone, very talented, very.
I'm gonna be honest though, if people keep living long enough, everybody done faltered and made an error in their life. You know?
Yeah.
And we do understand that mistakes cost people. I do understand that, but I'm not gonna sit here and just, you know, run nobody else in the ground. But like I said, it's good to be fair. You know.
Well, see, here's the issue though. Okay, I hate to say it, but nowadays people are somewhat very unforgiving. They have an unforgiving heart. You know, and it's a spirit of an unforgiving heart out here. I mean, like Wade said, nobody's, we all make mistakes. Ain't nobody perfect, but everybody's due to have a second chance, right? We've all made mistakes, and we learn from them.
And can I be truthful?
Yeah.
If because one thing about me, I'm always stand up for what's right. I ain't gonna bite my tongue. I only fear God, not man. You know what I'm saying? But
as you should.
To be honest with you, right? We live in a world where, and to Levi's point, I feel like people forgive based off how they like a person.
Exactly.
If there's somebody that you don't particularly care for, or you don't particularly like, or we're gonna forgive this one, but no, like.
Yeah,
everybody.
You just said a lot on what people think, but really can't say. Wade,
just be fair.
Exactly.
Just be fair. Because whether we looking at wrestling, whether we looking at business, whether we looking at anything, politics, anything, right?
Yeah.
People forgive who they want to forgive.
That's right.
And I think, to be honest, as a person who really believes in God, for me, I believe that, we have to be fair. We may not like what people do. People may not like what we do, but if you're going to forgive one, forgive the other.
You got to.
Everybody deserves a second
And we live in a world nowadays, whether people, like Wade said, based if they like you or not, that's a determination right then and there.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to be liked or be, judged in certain ways or whatever. It's not all about that. About the individual humanity, but it is what it is to this point.
It's not good to be biased.
And you got that old saying, like, what have you done for me lately? Like it's well, you ain't done nothing for me. Well, why am I gonna put my neck out for you? It shouldn't be like that. It should not be like that. We're all humans. We're all fighting the same battle. We're all hopefully
we're all in this together.
And then, truth be told, we don't know. We don't always know the ins and outs of every story, every situation. So I think it's unwise to judge things that we really don't know about, and then because sometimes we see the situation one way, but we don't see what led up to that.
Right?
Yeah.
I ain't just judge and juror on nobody part, but I just believe in giving people second chances.
Unless you don't know that person, or unless if you weren't there and saw what happened or whatever, you can't judge or put your opinion about that particular individual.
You can't.
If you don't know them and you weren't there when that incident happened or whatever, you can't say, oh yeah, well, this is that, this blah 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 blah. I mean, you weren't there.
Facts. And you
can't go off what you hear.
Right.
A lot of us go off what we hear. You have to, the only true evidence is what your eyes see, not what you hear, what you see. And people, it's all about deeds, what you do. So
and like Levi said, he said it best. You are not seeing out through my pupils.
Right.
You do not see through my perspective.
Exactly.
We don't share the same perspective.
And somebody said, Wade sat up there and cussed this man out.
Yeah.
And if I heard that, then I'm saying, oh man, Wade, he's a bad guy. He's sitting up there.
Oh, well, people know me.
But wait a minute. I wasn't right. I was not right there.
Well, you know what?
Seeing with my own eyes him cussing that man out. So I can't judge him.
But you know what?
There's a lot of rumors and stuff that goes.
If I ever did do something, one thing about me, I tell people straight up, yeah, I did it. Maybe I shouldn't have did it, but yeah, I did that.
I didn't mean to use it as an example.
No, that's all right. You just making it. But I'm just saying, again, like it's like, we have to understand all of us living and learning, but it's we do live in this world sometimes with things, like I always tell people, life ain't fair is what you make it, but we do know that in society things are not always fair.
It's not.
It's not always.
It's not.
Life isn't fair.
Man, that's a whole nother topic, whole nother one, man. But I will say, I did want to, dive into, And shout out to Levi, man, for setting this all up. And us guys can come together and celebrate the guys in the business that deserves their flowers. Specifically the topic of black wrestlers in today's scene of pro wrestling. I do feel like we should all have a good talk about that. So if I could go first and pick out one of my favorites, obviously, man, I mean, I would have to go with the more obvious Booker T. Coco Beware. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those guys, man, it's amazing to me on how big these guys were, man. Like, I'm talking about in personality and just the amount of light they got shined on them. It just wasn't enough. I'm gonna be honest, it just wasn't enough. These guys were like larger than life, man.
Yeah,
they were. And I feel like they deserve their flowers.
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, those guys, I grew up watching Coco Beware, and as well as Booker T and those guys, and those guys put on the show, man. I mean, they were phenomenal, and especially with Coco Beware, being in that era of Hulk Hogan and Ric Flair and them, all the big names and stuff.
Tony Atlas too, by the way.
Yeah, don't forget about Tony Atlas. Their shine should have been a little bit more brighter, in a sense.
Yeah,
sure. We know Booker T held it down.
Man,
he held it down to the best of his ability. And there has to be a form of respect for guys like that.
Yeah,
because it's just again the symbolism of having guys like that, and they're not being put forward or used for a certain ability is it's kind of a shame.
And that's what hurt me, Levi. Like during that time with the back and forth between him and Swerve, man, it hurt me honestly, because I'm like, dang, Swerve got so much talent, man. You're following literally in the footsteps that he paved the way for you, man. And the way they was battling Wade, it was crazy, man. I'm like, man, come on, please listen to him, man. Just listen.
But I just hope our people get a little bit better instead of bashing each other publicly.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
come together privately. If I said something to offend you, brother, forgive me.
Right.
Now, if it don't get nowhere, then I can understand that. But
yeah, there needs to be a lot of forgiveness in our hearts and stuff, and we just have to show some form of compassion in a sense. I mean, if some of us, we may, if we rub somebody the wrong way or whatever, we have to learn to just kind of
forgive
and then just kind of be man about it and just talk about it and just hey, it was a mistake or whatever, so.
And I want to say the quickest we can let go of that ego and start seeing each other for humans instead of competition, we can start getting somewhere. We can really start getting somewhere, because it's no way that I'm going to look at Wade and say, oh man, well, he has more money than me, man. Well, you know what? I'm not going to have him on the podcast anymore. He got more money than me then, but I'm not going to say that, because it's like that brother worked hard for his money. Why am I looking at him as competition? I can learn something from him.
Exactly.
I honestly could.
Exactly.
To me, it's like, we have to all realize that whether somebody got more than you or less than you, ain't nobody better than the next person.
Right.
We all in this thing together. Like even as a wrestler, you can't go in the ring and wrestle yourself. You gotta have somebody there to help you get over. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to be a lot better than that.
Mm-hmm.
The world not a bad place.
Yeah.
The thing is that sometimes the way that we treat one another is bad. But
it is
very, very bad.
In the next person.
Bad.
Because if you have a family member or a friend that sees you as competition, I'm gonna be real with people out there. You might as well cut them loose. I'm just being honest from my point of view, because it's cancer. It's cancer.
It is.
You want to be around people that's like-minded like yourself to elevate you to a level of, you know, getting better as well.
And you guys could uplift each other.
Exactly. And I just felt like, you know, hopping, you know, back on the topic that we were talking about, I just felt like it wasn't enough unity. I felt like it was a lot of ego too. So it's only so much we can blame on the business respectfully, right? Because back in the day, I don't really think we had that knowledge on how we do today to where we were thinking in our minds to where we were like, man, we should come together. We should be together more on this to bring each other up. You know, because everybody's trying to get to the top. Everybody's trying to get to the top.
And honestly, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. See, I'm gonna go ahead and be the one to say it, but it's like, and I say this too. Like, to me, I love everybody, every race, you know, every creed, because all of us, we all people, you know. But I will say this, that, like, you know, honestly, like, I feel like as wrestlers, right, everybody have a right to be pushed, you know. Everybody should have a right to have a chance, because some people feel like we're not gonna just hand you. But no, this is what people don't realize. It's not handing people an opportunity. If you don't give people an opportunity, how you gonna know? And I think a lot of times why certain wrestlers clash with other people is because some people may feel like, oh, this person is not worthy of this opportunity, or I don't like the way this person look, but you don't judge people off that, because again, it's a big world out here. Not everybody is gonna be a fan. Not everybody gonna be a hater. Like me, I tell you right now that I'm never gonna bash somebody, because when I look at people, right, I don't look at anybody and say, oh, I don't like this. No. Everybody got talent. Everybody has a right to pursue their dream. Like, I don't look at nobody and say they don't. But like, no, like, you know, as Levi, I know that we train together. You know, I've had individual, like I said, a female wrestler had a problem with me. But you know, but honestly, I would never publicly shame anybody. If anything, I come to a person proudly and say, hey, this situation or whatever, you know, let's straighten this out, because that's what you do in love. You know, I don't think we should never be quick to bash each other or try to tarnish anybody's reputation, you know?
Not at all. And I want to give a shout out, man, to my cousin Eugene, man. He has his own boxing podcast, actually. Okay. Shout out to Ring Walk Boxing out there.
That's awesome.
You know, it at one point in time, me and him did something together, and you know, it was an understanding to where, you know, maybe he wanted to like go off and do his own thing, but he just didn't know how to tell me. Mm-hmm. And at the time, I'll admit it right here that I was wrong by the way I was thinking, because I'm like, dang, well, why don't he want to do this with me? That was my dream. It wasn't his, respectfully. Mm-hmm. And I wasn't looking at it like that. So when he started bringing his podcast up, and when he started really getting put on and stuff like that, as he is now, I'm like, oh, okay. So that was his vision. That was his vision. And he don't know, hey, I respect him the same. There's no hate here. And that's what we all have to do. It doesn't have to be no hate because nobody doesn't agree with you and your vision.
Right.
It all still be love in the same sense.
Each is their own.
Look, everybody has a different path. That's just like, you know, as you've been stated, right? Like when I trained for wrestling, right? And Levi knows this. When I trained, I didn't do it to break off into the business and be the next big thing. I did it for me. I did it for Wade Simmons as a hobby, because I wanted something else fun to do. I didn't do it to try to go over here, and nothing wrong with that. But there were other people that felt like I should have maybe put a little bit more into it. But no, that was for me to have fun. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you have to understand that not all of us have the same perspective on things.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
Yeah,
because he got the way how the, how can I put it, the universe works, so to speak. You know, each of us have our own pathways or gifts. Okay, I'm going to use this example. Okay, like the X-Men.
Okay,
you know, the X-Men, you know, or Avengers, they all are their own. Each individual, they have their own unique powers. They all come from different paths of life. Wolverine, you know, he was born in the 1800s or whatever and lived decades and millennia. Okay, and you know, then compared to Captain America, you know, he was a soldier in World War II. So they all come from different backgrounds and they have different abilities, but they were all able to assemble as a team and work together.
Yeah.
Okay. So with us, whether it's in wrestling or on a sports team, basketball, football, whatever, everybody, has come from a different path of life. Wade just said, he got into wrestling as a hobby. It's opened up doors for him to do other things and stuff like that. Okay. Compared to, other people who who may come from a different background and they're looking to, pursue it on this level or whatever, or that, but at the same time, we're all able to work together as a team.
Absolutely.
And then the thing is that there's in wrestling, or not just wrestling, football, basketball, whatever, you have a lot of egos. Okay. Man. And then, when they collide together, then it's like, okay, you guys ain't uplifting one another, helping out the next person or whatever, or you want to be in competition with the other person, see them go down instead of working together. Like when the Bulls were winning in the 90s, okay, Michael Jordan and them, Scottie Pippen, they all worked together. Okay, they even worked with they even helped the person that was on the very end of the bench, the guy that comes off the bench, shine and be a star. They all work together because you know what? The goal is we want to win.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you don't see that type of mentality today. And I stand to be corrected on that. Maybe there is. But
you're right. You're right, man. I go back to the basketball analogy too. That's almost like when people tell me my favorite player, hands down. I'm not trying to start the GOAT debate,
right?
But I love LeBron. I love LeBron James.
That's your opinion,
LeBron. But and I'm not saying that Jordan didn't do that because I grew up. I watched him. I seen the flu game. I seen all of that stuff. But LeBron is just on a different level. But when people tell me, oh, well, LeBron had to go to 3 teams. To win. Of course he did. I mean, and I don't feel like it's an insult when people say that because number 23 ain't the only player out there on the floor. He needs a team.
Yeah, but he
needs respect.
For LeBron, if LeBron needed to go to different teams to win a championship, that's how the universe worked in his favor.
See,
now Michael Jordan, he needed to stay on one team throughout his whole career to win a championship. Nice. Okay, Kobe Bryant needed to stay on one team to win a championship. Okay, so that's what worked out for those guys. Now for LeBron, he just had to jump ship to ship.
That's it.
To do what he had to do and to win something. So
and that's it.
What worked out differently for LeBron, you can't compare it to the Kobe and Michael. It's all different scenarios.
And that's what I tell people all the time. For me personally, me being a diehard LeBron fan, I don't understand how they even compared him to Jordan. They don't even play the same position. And then it's like, honestly, I would compare, I know this is kind of off topic, but I would compare him more to like a Magic Johnson, me personally, because they got the same skill set, passing, dunking, shooting, nice little shot. Now you can probably do Kobe and MJ. That's probably a little bit closer.
Right.
A little bit, but
But honestly, I'm one of them people that I really don't like to compare nobody. As you both stated.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gets their wins differently. It's not gonna end. And like you said, people have to understand in life, not just even in sports, in life, period. Mm-hmm. If something is not working in one place and you go somewhere else, but you still succeed.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
It don't matter. All the other stuff really don't matter because you can't. You can't always get your victories in life the same way the next person did.
Exactly. No, for sure.
I can't compare my life to Wade's. Wade can't compare his life to mine. I can't compare my wife to Kendall. Kendall can't compare his life to mine. It's God of the universe has set it up differently with us, but he could have it to the point whereby he could assemble all this talent together, and they could work together.
Yeah, that's true.
If they want to. but they all come from different backgrounds, and they got their different methods of ways of succeeding or doing stuff. But they could work as a unit if they want to win. Or what, I mean, I'm just using that as an example. I wasn't trying to get nobody off topic like that.
No.
You're talking about wrestling, not basketball and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, it's sports.
I just wanted to get that.
Yeah, because it's all sports, and that's just it, man. Like what I said earlier about that, like ego is really important. You have to, in anything you do, wrestling, boxing, anything, you have to let go of ego, because if you can't, you're constantly going to be looking at, and it's just an example, you're constantly going to be looking at the other person like, oh, well, man, he's not a boss. He's not a boss. But honestly, they're all three of us are bosses.
That's right. In our own perspective, our own,
and I respect it. Respect it.
Own perspective, own world. We all our own individual boss.
Yeah.
But then if we really wanted to, we could work together and form our own syndicate. Okay,
powerhouse.
Or powerhouse. Yeah. Our own group and work together to make big, wonderful things happen. But see, not too many people think like that nowadays. Though. Now, go ahead, Wade. You about to say something?
People don't realize that unity, when you're on the same page, is powerful. And you got to think about it like let's come back to the pro wrestling world, right? You have to think about it like a lot of those greats that we see now, even in the past, right? They didn't get there just by themselves. Think about all the jobbers that put them over.
Yeah.
Think about all those people that had to put their ego aside to put somebody else over.
Yeah.
That's deep.
So
a lot of people
don't think about that, but
real.
You got some people. I ain't losing that Master Hill.
Right.
But in order for them to shine, somebody got to be defeated.
They got to.
Bingo. And that could be right there and there. The blessing right there. The blessing
real
to open up a doorway or put that person over, or let them shine, but some people don't even look at it like that.
Because look at it like this. A lot of the pro wrestlers who have wrestled in mainstream pro wrestling, right? Because we have the indies and we have mainstream. But think about a lot of those mainstream wrestlers who go back on the indie scene and they say, okay, I'm going to wrestle this up and coming talent to help put them over, Now, a lot of times that up and coming talent may lose the match to that mainstream wrestler. But think about how the jobbers sometimes don't really get that same respect at times,
Right.
But for me, it's really the same thing, It's just some people may have a bigger platform, a bigger audience, but if somebody not willing to lose,
And you just mentioned it, Wade. Sometimes some people have a bigger platform or audience. That's what it is. I mean, it's more so if you have a bigger fan base or whatever the case is, then it may benefit you. And that's what they look at.
I want to talk about this one last topic because it's coming up on 50 minutes. I got to go somewhere. But because I got somebody in my ear or something, or whoever is over here. But I will say this: I wanted to give a one last take on the situation. I forgot her name. The young lady from NXT going through the contract issue. What's her name again? Forgive me. I forgot her name.
I saw something about that.
I can't remember her name.
I wanted to just ask the question in being, is the contracts received in pro wrestling, do you guys think it's a fair deal nowadays? For all they do?
Jasmine,
yeah, okay. Jasmine Guzman?
I just
that last name?
I forget. It was something like that, but I feel horrible for forgetting.
I mean, like I said, I'm kind of a little behind on a lot of stuff, but
yeah,
I put it like this: any person, I'm gonna just say this: any person that's, whether you're a wrestler or anybody, if you're in a situation where you don't feel that you're being paid properly, you got to do what's best for you. Because on one part, WWE or TKO rather is a company. The company is gonna do as Triple H say what's best for business.
For sure.
But you have to think about it like this, because a lot of people may look at it like, well, if a person is in NXT, maybe they're not making as much money, but you got to look at it like this. You don't really know the person's living situation. You don't know their bills. And I look at it like this, like personally, because like I said, have trained for professional wrestling, I can tell you this. I know for sure that there are some people being paid, and there are some people that are not being paid.
Yeah.
Now, WWE, of course, probably would give somebody a bigger contract, but let's be real. If Kendall's getting 45 million, Levi's getting 50 million, I'm getting 10 million. And then you think about all the other people that they can't afford to pay everybody big salary.
Yeah.
However, though, if you're one of them people that they can't afford to pay that to, and it's not working for you in that way, you have to do what's best for you.
Exactly.
Go ahead, Levi.
No, I'm sorry. I was gonna say this real quick. Hold that thought. It's just like what an old school promoter told me back when he was working in the 1960s and 70s. Guys were working, wrestling, working, and everything, and getting paid. They were getting paid enough money to pay off mortgages. This is back in the 1960s and the 70s. Guys were making enough to pay off their mortgages, and that's a different era compared to today. So, the business mindset, the mindset of doing the business has changed a lot compared to back then to now. Yep.
And you know what I believe that is? I believe that's a result of pricing. The cost of living is extremely high right now.
Yeah.
And two, social media. So like now people's attention span, that's just like anything, right? Like now, things are not what they used to be. And it's not, and again, we are not living in the past, we're in the present now.
Right.
And nowadays things are just so differently. So now the value of a dollar is not as much as it used to be.
Oh yeah.
Cost of living has risen. And so sometimes, again, just because people are in a place that is seen to be bigger, it doesn't mean that everybody is getting these big contracts.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I can respect anybody that realize, like, you know what? I love what I do, but maybe this is not enough to pay. I got to do what I got to do. If I have to maybe, go back to the indie scene and maybe get paid a little more doing something else and but in a way, you just have to have a plan and work your plan. Because it's not the end of the world. Because like, what you gonna say, Ken?
I was gonna say this, man. I don't want to make this a big topic on here, but I want to attack just this a little bit. I just don't like how fans or spectators, we have to stop with certain stuff, right? Mm-hmm. We got to stop thinking soon as a female gets X out from a business or they decide to leave on their own that they're going to OnlyFans. We got to stop with that. We have to stop with that. I see too much of it, man. I see too much of it.
But you know what? People, I always say people are entitled to have their own opinion.
I know.
But here's the thing. But I always tell people, an opinion is not a fact. And so I would just say this, that whatever the person decides to do with their life, it's other things out here that would, pay you pretty well. Because like I said, we training on the indie scene. We know that, again, everybody's not doing this stuff full time.
Right.
You know, so if you got to go to another industry, let's say for instance you're a lawyer or whatever you're doing, you making 100,000 to 80,000 here, and wrestling wasn't paying you that. Then take that 100,000 over here, and then work your indie shows. Maybe you only make like maybe 30,000-40,000 from it. But if you got other money coming in, you still doing what you love.
We all have to do what's best for us. That's all.
And that's what I'm saying. Like I think like I think we should all get to a place in life where like we realize again that people got to do what's best for them.
We do.
And
we don't know these people. Each other's situation, not everybody has it easily made compared to the next person. Okay, that one person may have that silver spoon handed to them with ease, the favoritism with ease, compared to the next person they got to work blood, sweat, and tears through the skin and bone to do what they have to do.
But
Okay?
for me, I'm always an advocate for multiple streams of income because, I mean, you know, it's a blessing to be able to wake up and do what you love. But again, hey, if you got to do something funny to make some money, I'd rather have my own going on. Like,
and you can't judge that individual.
Hey, I'll say this. I'll say this too. I'm not making no money from any like of my computer, my software and stuff. I do this strictly off of the love that I love to do. Like I love this. It's in my blood, in my sweat. Man, I didn't cried about this, about not having the right equipment, about like it's been that serious for me. Because at this point, I want to say 3 or 4 years ago, man, I didn't even have no laptop. I ain't had no laptop, man. I was doing this off my phone. So I'm like, okay, well, what do I need next? Bro, it got so serious to me. I got hired on a music store. And I did that on purpose so I can get my equipment cheap, bro. That's just my story.
Intention. Wait a minute, but they go back to what you just said, intention, right? Like, people have to realize that, like, not everybody got it easy in life. You know, you don't know what people went through to get to where they were. But again, if you somewhere, because most of us have been on jobs, whether, you know, maybe not wrestling, but on jobs that we feel like, man, well, this one getting paid this, you're going to, I'm about to get up out of here. It's just, it ain't real. Personal, it's business. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. You know?
No, it isn't.
I think one time, I think MVP was wrestling on the indie show. MVP, that's one of my favorite. I salute my brother. I'm proud of you, brother. He was doing the show, I think, and somebody made a comment about it. And he said, you know, I love what I do, you know? And what people have to realize is, like, we have this tendency of just thinking that people just supposed to be over here just because you were main. It don't. The industry, that's okay. Like, okay, in the film business, right? There are a lot of indies filmmakers. There's a lot of filmmakers in Hollywood circle. But guess what? There are times where, whether you're on the indie scene or in Hollywood, people come together and work together at times.
Yep.
It's people got foots in the doors here, a half a foot in the door. But either way, what matters is you doing what you love. And you love what you do.
That's all that matters.
I think we got to stop getting out of this mind that, like, you know, just because you go main, like, you know, no, you could be mainstream and not even hardly making no money.
For real.
And you could be somebody that's not even well known.
That's true.
Good money.
Yep.
Who really cares?
Everything is not what it appears to seem sometimes.
I gotta and see, man, just off of what you said, that's 100% true. That's why, man, I be talking my stuff in these groups, bro. And it's like a part of me, I be humble, but a part of me, like, man, I deserve this. I work hard for this. And you know, that's what I want other people out there to understand. Even in wrestling too, as well. You know, it's guys
just in life in general.
Let me tell you,
but just to use the example of wrestling, I will say, it's just, man, it's so many guys out there that's not getting a shot. Like we mentioned earlier, Carmelo Hayes. That's one of my guys. I love what he's doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's almost like, man, just don't ever give up. Just because you get to a certain point, don't get stagnant and be like, oh, well, I made it. It's always
let me be honest with y'all. It's people in every field that I done been in that I know that's making more money than me.
Yeah.
But you know what? I ain't hating on nobody because that's for them. And you have to understand something. You don't know what people went through to get to where they were. You know, I've had situations where I worked and people were being paid more than me. But you know what? You just choose to stay and go. It's that simple. You know? You gotta do what's best for you, because again, we look at other people's life and we think, man, it ought to be like this, or man, but no, we know we ain't God and nobody else. And half of us can't even get our own life together.
Bingo.
So ain't no point of bashing or running nobody else in the ground. It's life. It happens. But at the end of the day, you know, I don't want to see nobody struggle. Like, I feel that in all cases, people got to do what's best for them, because a lot of times with these businesses, they pay who they want to pay. Yeah, they pay what they want to pay, and it's either you accept it or you don't.
Right, take it or leave it. Yeah,
take it or leave
it. That is fight.
And so if I'm getting up every day and I'm somewhere and it's like it ain't working, then that's for me to say, you know what? I think I better go on and grab this 80,000 over here and just do this on the side.
Yep.
Nah, for
long
real.
as it's legit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As long as it's
What's
legit.
best for you, man? Because ain't nobody else out there gonna do it for you.
Yeah.
Nah, they ain't. They ain't, and that's something that needs to be understood. But I wanna wrap this up. And you know, I wanna say thank you to y'all, man, and more specifically Levi, man, too. And I mean literally both of y'all, because y'all put this nice show together,
It was
man.
Levi
I know,
You're welcome, brother.
I
You're
know,
welcome,
give
my
him
man.
the credit.
And we enjoy being on your show, Kendall. I mean, hey, man, I think we're one of your main regulars on here, man.
hey,
So,
man, and I mean,
there's gonna be plenty of more times when me and Wade gonna be on here.
hey,
So,
I told Wade, hey, the door is open for y'all, and I know, this time, you know, it was kind of tough for me to get together, man. Y'all know how life happens and things like that or whatnot.
yeah.
But hey, man, I will come through for y'all anytime. You know,
look,
like, I had to make this happen today because
Most
I knew
definitely.
it would be a great conversation. It's always a great conversation with y'all, man.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Like they say, life is life and for everybody. So that's why I say, you know, we just love and pray for one another, because we can't. Ain't no point of sitting back laughing, looking at nobody to fail.
Yeah,
the world is going. A lot of jobs are being wiped out.
Man,
So, this ain't the time to be like saying anything bad
Hmm.
about anybody. You just hoping, just if you do have something good going for yourself, thank God for it. Don't put nobody else down. You know.
Yeah.
Ain't no need.
oh, seriously,
We can't take it with us when we leave anyway. You know.
Bingo.
seriously,
That's right
seriously.
there.
Yeah.
Before we get on about it here, man, do y'all got like just a few seconds of motivation, man, for anybody, man, who may be, going through it? I do it at the end of all of my shows, man. So if y'all got like 30 seconds, man, to get motivation to somebody out there on who's watching, what would y'all say to them?
I'll let Levi go first.
Well, number one, keep God in your life first. Stay positive and focused. You know, don't give up, because that's something. But how can I put it? The enemy or the devil's way of planting that seed into your head of that. Oh, you can't do it, and folks are saying this and that. So block that out. Just stay focused and positive. Keep trying to the grit. Keep working hard to the grit, to the bone, because you are going to get there. And just just maintain and always be true to yourself, and whatever you are doing, like my grandmother used to say, rest in peace, never let your right foot know what your left foot is doing, or your left foot know what your right foot is doing. Either way it goes, So, man, just always keep straightforward, keep going.
What about you, Wade?
Well, my three things is this: always keep God, the creator of heaven and earth, first.
Yes,
And then just remember, life ain't fair, but it's what you make it. And
That's
always
right.
remember that time is moving, so you keep moving too. Because all of us have ups and downs. I don't care who we are, how much money we have or don't have. Life is life and for everybody. But just stay strong. Just, be honest. Try to mind your business a whole lot. Try not to down other people and just show love. You'll be all right.
Yep.
Hey, you heard it here first.
Spread love, not war. Quote by Mobb Deep.
Hey, that's the truth. Y'all heard it here first on Tables, Ladders, and Pod, man. We want to thank Wade Simmons and Levi again, man, for coming through. It's always a great talk with you guys, man. And hopefully y'all don't make it too long, man, for coming back.
Oh, man, anytime. And again, we want to say this.
Brother, anytime.
We love everybody.
Yes,
we appreciate all the wrestlers, whether you in WWE, AEW, on the indie scene. We love it. We put it like this: we ain't here to bash anybody. We just here to show love,
not at all.
Share what we feel, and like I say, hey, it's always an opportunity for all of us to do better. Thanks for having me, my brother. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Kendall.
Man, no problem, man. Hey, y'all come on back, man. Once again, man. Y'all, this has been Tables, Ladders, and Pod. Y'all join us next week for another hot episode of Tables, Ladders, and Pod.